We are tantalisingly close to 4,000 subscribers. I think we're 5 away now, which is insane. So if we can get to that, that'll be incredible.
Oh my God!
And it gets even better, young man.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow. Oh! Come on, Stolly boy! Yes, double 12! That is the most amazing leg dance you will ever see in your life! I can't speak! I can't speak!
Yeah, 4 goals for 4,000 subscribers, eh? Wow. That weren't part of the script, was it? That was definitely not part of the plan. 4-1 away win against Morecambe tonight. Definitely was not expecting that one going into this game, considering our record against the teams in the bottom half of the table and the way we've been looking over the last few games. You know, 5 without a win going into this one. 1 goal in nearly 8 hours of football, with obviously Stephen Sessegnon's goal being that goal against Accrington. Absolute ping, by the way. Definitely contender for goal of the season alongside Clare's against Plymouth. But yeah, coming into this one, not at all confident. Record against the bottom half teams. The only team we've beaten in the bottom half of the table going into this game was Forest Green. And even then, we only just about beat them. You know, they battered us in that second half and we only just come away with a 1-0 victory. So, yeah, not at all confident. But, wow, certainly the confidence boost that we needed. Definitely needed that. Needed to get back on our feet, really, and find the back of the net a couple of times and hopefully push our way up the table and hopefully kick on for the last 2 games of the season and try and get a best finish that we can. On the overall, if I'm looking quite in general and perhaps from a negative standpoint, I suppose tonight's performance probably goes to show not how good we are, because let's be honest, we're not that good. We don't play that often. We don't put in performances as good as that, as emphatic as our performance was tonight and as brilliant as the victory was. It probably wasn't an indication as to how good we are, because let's be honest, over the course of the full season, we have to consider ourselves lucky to be in the top half of the table right now. But it goes to show how poor Morecambe are, to be honest. And I try to say that in the most undisrespectful way possible, if that's even a word. It's quite late at the time of recording this, so I do apologise if I'm all over the place in terms of my thoughts. But yeah, Morecambe were not good tonight. They were absolutely, they were shocking, to be honest with you. Defensively, we caught them out far too many times. 15-20 minute spell in the second half where we looked fairly shaky and we sort of just sat there thinking, we ain't going to bottle it, are we? But I did have a really bad feeling at that point after they got their goal back, which was pretty shocking defending from us. But in the end, we managed to keep our head, managed to calm it down a little bit and produce a pretty stunning 4th goal, to be fair. A really good team goal. But yeah, Morecambe on the whole couldn't contain us, really. We were absolutely brilliant from start to finish, really, as I say, apart from that blip in the second half, the past 15-20 minutes. But yeah, Morecambe, I think Louis Mendes put it better. It was quite piss easy in the end, to be honest. And like I say, I mean that in the least disrespectful way possible. But Morecambe, yeah, they weren't on our level tonight and they just couldn't cope. I'm very happy with that. And I must say, I haven't enjoyed a game like that in a very long time. I really, really enjoyed that tonight. So yeah, let's get into actually delving into the starting 11. I must admit, looking at it on first glance, I mean, I put it on my Instagram story. If you follow me on Insta, you know full well what I thought of the lineup. But I did think it looked quite hideous. Obviously, we were, I think, mostly you'd say enforced into 5 changes that we made. Obviously, we've had a couple players out injured. Obviously, Lucas Ness, unfortunately, looks set for a little bit of spell on the sidelines. Hopefully, it's not too long term. But yeah, he obviously was absent. Rak-Sakyi was obviously brought off as a precaution as well in the last game against Accrington. He was thankfully fit enough to make the bench. In terms of the actual starting 11, of course, Maynard-Brewer starting in goal. I didn't know what to make of it, really. In terms of the squad, because obviously we had Ryan Inniss, Michael Hector and Terell Thomas all playing tonight. So instantly I thought it was a back 5 with either Tyreece Campbell or Blackett-Taylor occupying as a wing back. But no, it wasn't. It was actually a 4-3-3 with Thomas as a left back. And obviously Sean Clare was the other right, the right back, sorry, with obviously Hector and Inniss as the 2 centre backs. Then obviously we had Jules Dobson, Scott Fraser returning to the side for a little while. I think he's had a little bit of trouble with, I think it's a hip injury or something like that, or a slight knock. And Albie Morgan was brought into the squad as well for the first time in a while. And of course it was TC on the right, Blackett-Taylor on the left, and Miles Leaburn getting his 2nd start in a row, which we have to say, rightly so. He is really the best option that we can have up front at the moment. Obviously, Macauley Bonne has been dire this season, and Daniel Kanu, as much as I do like him, probably isn't ready to start games. Instantly, I saw, you know, Terell Thomas's name and Ryan Inniss and Albie Morgan, and I think even Scott Fraser's name and even Tyreece Campbell as well, you know, in the squad. I was kind of sat there thinking, like, yeah, that doesn't seem appealing to me at all. But obviously, by the actual football, I was going to be proven wrong. The bench as well was quite interesting as well. Of course, the first appearance of Mandela Egbo as well for the first time in a while. He obviously got off the bench in the second half for a little period. His first appearance since that dramatic 4-4 draw of Ipswich. So it just goes to show how long that's been. How long ago was that game? That was, what, October, November time, something like that? So he's been out for a long time. I didn't realise he was out for that long, so 4 to 5 months. But yeah, very nice to see Egbo back in the squad. The first opening minutes were quite even. I think it was, well, mainly standard Charlton for most of this season, really. You know, we looked to dominate possession, you know, we looked to play the ball out, but it looked quite lethargic for the first opening minutes, and I was sat there thinking, like, yeah, I know exactly what kind of game this is going to be. But again, I was proven wrong gladly. In the 17th minute, grabbing the lead through none other than Leaburn with a pretty good finish, we have to say, but some pretty shocking defending from Morecambe. I was watching it on my Fire Stick tonight. I got the Morecambe's commentary, and they were saying that, you know, they're quite weak defensively from set pieces. I think before the game, obviously it's now 5 goals, but I think they said at the time it was 3 goals in a row that they conceded from set pieces. Obviously now stands as 5, because our first 2 goals in the space of 4 minutes came from set pieces. The first one, I think it was quite a short cross into the box from Albie Morgan, I believe, and Campbell flicked it out. I think it was initially a shot from Dobson, and it comes out to Terell Thomas. He does a beautiful flick over the top, over his head, towards Leaburn. Initially, I did think it was offside, because I thought, you know, he looks a bit in an offside position, but thankfully the flag stayed down. It was quite close when I saw the replay afterwards. But Leaburn chests Thomas's brilliant flick down, and he absolutely drills it past Connor Ripley. A fantastic control and finish, and like I say, a good goal in general. You know, we've done really well to catch him out from that set piece. Thomas's flick was brilliant. Leaburn's chest control was fantastic, and the strike was even better. Fantastic finish. And as I say, 4 minutes later, we grabbed ourselves another goal from another corner. Blackett-Taylor forcing Ripley into a good save that led to the corner, and it was that man, Blackett-Taylor, that grabbed the goal. Ball comes in on the same side. Inniss heads it across the back post, and Blackett-Taylor is there to smash it home. The commentary kept saying that it went down as a Jensen Weir own goal. It didn't really look it from the power of the shot. You know, I wouldn't have thought that Weir would have got that anyway. I couldn't really tell what happened, whether Blackett-Taylor hit the shot and it's come off Weir and gone in. But in fairness, I think even if you were even going to class that as an own goal, I felt that the shot was going on target anyway. But anyway, the goal has gone down as Blackett-Taylor's goal, so he's obviously claimed 2 goals tonight, as he did get our 3rd. But yeah, it just goes to show there, you know, we exposed Morecambe in their weakness, really. We very nearly came close to a 3rd now, as I'm reading back through the notes on Charlton's Twitter page. Sean Clare, fantastic run through the defence, you know, picked up the ball really nicely and just ran through, just kept going, and forced a really good save into Ripley, so that was nearly 3. Fraser had an opportunity as well, played out wide, then obviously back inside to the middle, where he's had a shot first time from the edge of the area, or just a bit further out, I think, and it flew over the net. It wasn't a greatest strike in the world, but still a chance. And then, of course, as I alluded to, Blackett-Taylor did grab his 2nd and 3rd, Charlton's 3rd of the night, through a brilliant piece of work from Tyreece Campbell, who I felt was, you could tell, again, he's inexperienced. I think he grew into the game as the game went on. He lost the ball a couple of times and looked a bit shaky. But as I say, brilliant work for the 3rd goal. You know, I think he got the ball, ran inside, or just went on a bit of a run. I'm trying to remember it now. Sort of stopped, cut inside, very, very composed, chipped it in towards the back post, and there was Blackett-Taylor to finish it across the far post into the goal. But yeah, decent little finish from Blackett-Taylor. Good work from Campbell as well, but shocking defending from Morecambe, which, as I say, I felt we exposed for the majority of if not all of the first half and all of the game, really. But yeah, that was half time, leading 3-0, and I said it on Instagram stories, that was certainly not part of the plan whatsoever. That was definitely not how the script was supposed to go. It took me completely by surprise, but as I said in the intro, probably a reflection of how poor Morecambe have been this season and how they were tonight, rather than a reflection of how good we are in general, because I'm not taking it away from us tonight, because it was absolutely emphatic and we controlled the game really from start to finish, apart from a 15-20 minute spell in the second half, which Morecambe, you know, at that point I was laughing away with some of my family downstairs. They were sat there saying, "Oh, it's going to be 3-3," like, because I wouldn't put it past us. I wouldn't put it past us happening, to be fair. And for a second, it did look like that was going to happen. Obviously, Blackett-Taylor, before that, before they managed to get their consolation goal, is what it ultimately turned out to be. We were forced into an enforced change. Blackett-Taylor came off. He was struggling, I think, with his knee or something like that, or to his right leg, but we forced him off. He didn't seem to come off with a limp or anything. He seemed to be walking normally. And obviously, Rak-Sakyi, who was actually taken off in an enforced change on Saturday against Accrington as well, came onto the field and he looked fairly all right as well. So it's obviously good to see him back in action. But as I say, that substitution was obviously before Morecambe's consolation goal. But at the time, I was sat there thinking, don't do it. Like, because I knew straight away, I know how we have been this season. I was sat there thinking, okay, they've got a goal, and you know, normality has ensued with Charlton, really, because we have to admit it was pretty shocking defending. I remember trying to read it back on social media, like Ryan Inniss apparently tried to do a little back heel, and it's come to one of their players, and they've played it across, and they've played it across again. There's no one on the left-hand side even picking up Donald Love, and he just simply just passes it into the net, really past Maynard-Brewer. That was probably the only downside to the game, really, is that we didn't keep a clean sheet when arguably we deserved to, because I think up until that point, Morecambe had barely any decent threatening opportunities. They had a couple shots on target, but most of them were just, you know, down Maynard-Brewer's throat. You know, he wasn't really tested tonight, we have to say, in terms of out-and-out saves. But Morecambe, in that 15-20 minute spell, you know, they had those opportunities. And obviously that goal, shocking defending from us, that's what they exposed in us, because we have been shocking defensively this season, and that was a prime example of it. But as I say, in that spell, it definitely was a bit nervy, because I sat there thinking, oh my God, we're going to do it. Here we go. Morecambe are going to get back in the game. And they kept coming. You know, they were, you know, the crowd got back on their side, you know, where they were pushing forward, trying to create opportunities. Dan Crowley, who I definitely highlight as their best player since joining the club, he had a really good opportunity as well that just skimmed wide during that period. But thankfully, they didn't take advantage of it. And even more so, we managed to get the nail in the coffin, really, through, like I said in the intro, what I must say is a brilliant team goal. It was absolutely fantastic. And breaking the drought for Scott Fraser, his 6th of the season, his first goal since Portsmouth away, back on New Year's Day, my 21st birthday. But yeah, really, really good team goal, you know. Before then, we just seemed like panicked, you know, because Morecambe, for the first time all game, really started to press us. That's what I noticed in the first half. Even when the score was 0-0, you know, Morecambe were happy for us to keep possession and didn't really press us at all. And we were just spraying passes left, right and centre and popping it about, basically. But during that 15-20 minute spell where they were back into the game after that goal, they actually started to press us, and then we started to get nervy, we started to get panicky, started to give the ball away a number of times. And I was screaming at the telly as well as my family downstairs, sort of just saying like calm it down, do you know what I mean? And eventually, the moment we did, you know, Clare, I think, got it out on the right. He played it to Fraser. Fraser played it into Rak-Sakyi. Rak-Sakyi flicks it back into Fraser. He's put basically straight through on goal, and he just tucks it into the far corner. Fantastic team goal. It is brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. Really, really good goal. Really enjoyed it. And obviously, as I say, Fraser breaking his drought now. He's 6th for the season, his first goal since January. And yeah, game, set and match from then on, really. Morecambe didn't really want the ball after that, and you could tell their heads just, you know, dropped. They had that patch. They didn't take those advantages. And the second, the 4th goal went in, it was like, yeah, that's it, game over. Obviously, we made 3 changes after that. You know, Macauley Bonne, Aaron Henry and Daniel Kanu came on. I was going to batter Bonne for another ineffective, lacklustre and non-existent performance, but to be fair to him, I didn't think Henry and Kanu really did anything, so I'll hold off judgment with that for Bonne. But yeah, nothing really much else to report on after that. Oh yeah, apart from Mandela Egbo's cameo as well. Terell Thomas obviously came off. I think it was initially Clare that was supposed to come off, but for some reason the change took too long, and then Thomas, I think, was struggling a little bit, and he come off instead of Clare, and Egbo obviously replaced him. Judging by Charlton's Twitter feed, Rak-Sakyi came very close to adding a 5th. He placed a shot just wide in the 92nd minute of the game. I wouldn't know, because my Fire Stick stream decided to call it quits, I think about the 88th minute, and it just cut it off and it just disappeared, and I was like, oh man. But anyway, nothing else to report on there, because the game finished as it was at the time of it stopping. Morecambe 1, Charlton Athletic 4. As I say, a very comprehensive and emphatic victory, a very, very good performance, and one that we needed. You know, we needed that confidence boost, because we have been absolutely diabolical and really, really horrible to watch. You know, it's been dire. It's been absolutely dire watching us play recently. And I did sit down and watch this one tonight. Obviously, I was at the Accrington game. Apologies, I didn't make a video on that. To be fair, you probably wouldn't have wanted to watch that, because that had just been me screaming at the camera because of quite possibly the worst standard of football I think I've ever seen ever. That game was absolutely dreadful. So it was very nice to get a very different performance, and obviously in the good manner tonight, with a very, very emphatic victory. Morecambe, said it a number of times, mean it in the least disrespectful way possible. I need to choose my words very carefully, but they were shocking. They were absolutely dreadful tonight, and they made us look good realistically. But I'm not taking it away from us, because we were very good tonight. I know we have to say we were brilliant. Some really good goals in there. The fourth goal was fantastic team play. Blackett-Taylor was emphatic tonight. He was absolutely brilliant, really, really decent. Leaburn, obviously, with a fantastic finish as well. Campbell, as I say, I felt grew into the game as the game went on. I still felt it was a bit shaky. Scott Fraser and Jules Dobson, I'd say, apart from Fraser's goal, had fairly quiet games. I didn't really see them do an awful lot, whether that was just me not paying attention to them during the game. But a player I did pay attention to during the game was Albie Morgan. I felt he was pretty good tonight. I felt a lot better than what I've seen in recent weeks. And again, big shout out to Terell Thomas. You know, I've been a big critic of him over the course of this season, and then seeing him in the starting 11 tonight, I was sat there thinking, oh, great, here we go. Like, because I mean, ultimately we had no choice but to play him, because obviously with Ness's injury and Egbo's obviously not fit to start games, and Matt Penny's not in the squad for whatever reason. Sessegnon is struggling with his knee flaring up again, and obviously Todd Kane's out injured as well, so we didn't really have a choice, and Thomas is our only, I think, left-footed centre-back that we've got. Thomas played really well tonight. He played really, really well, apart from that 15-20 minute blip where he looked his normal self really over the course of this season. But I will give him full credit. That was definitely the best performance we've seen from him this season. He played really, really well. That flicker for the first goal was fantastic. Wasn't that impressed with Michael Hector. That might be an interesting take, but yeah, I didn't think he played that well. Misplaced a couple of passes. Inniss, I felt, played well tonight as well. Clare was fantastic. Maynard-Brewer wasn't really forced into many saves. I can't really be too critical of him. It was a shame he couldn't keep a clean sheet, but then again, I would blame the people in front of him than him himself for that goal. But ultimately, he didn't really, he wasn't really tested much. He didn't have to make any like decent saves that were going to keep us into the game, and the saves that he did make were right down his throat, and he was able to catch them. So I suppose I'll give him plaudits for that. But yeah, as I say, a very emphatic victory tonight, and hopefully the confidence boost that will see us progress for the next 10 games of the season. And we need to, I mean, realistically, if we look at the rest of the games we have now, we have got to play against teams in the bottom half of the table. So I think we've got a fairly all right run towards the end of the season. But as we all know, our record against bottom half teams is absolutely shocking. That is it for this match reaction, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, can you possibly leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, turn on those post notifications so you're notified of every time I upload a new video. As you would have seen from the introduction, we have hit 4,000 subscribers, which is, it's mad. It's absolutely insane. The fact I've been doing this for 5.5 years now, or close to 5.5 years, and we've built the following that I have is brilliant. You know, the support, it's not gone unnoticed. You know, you guys are absolute legends, and thank you all so much for following me on this journey for this long and sticking with me through the few highs and, let's face it, very, very, very many lows of the club since I've been covering us. Maybe I'm a bad luck charm, I don't know, probably am. But yeah, thank you again for watching this video, guys, and thank you for supporting me over the years. It is very greatly appreciated. Let me know your thoughts of the game in the comments below. This has been Tyler Owlington. Have a nice day, and I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all then.